Robbinsdale swinging in, and it is a fair ball, and Wayzata wins it. Champlin Park back to state for the third straight year.
Hello and welcome to a special year-end edition of Sports Jam. I'm John Jacobson.
And I'm Jay Wilcox. Happy holidays. This week we're taking a look back at some of our favorite spotlight stories from 2017. We've met some great young men and women throughout the year. The Breck football team started strong this fall with 3 wins to begin the season before some later struggles. We met talented Mustangs quarterback David Roddy at midseason. It's an eye-opener for fans and opponents. Breck Jr. David Roddy is 6'5" and weighs 250 pounds and has great quarterback skills.
Lots of people say Ben Roethlisberger, but I like to compare myself to Cam Newton. It's more like him. I'm more built like him than Ben Roethlisberger.
His receivers have to remember, Roddy is fast and really tough to bring down, so his scrambles can create chances downfield.
You get caught sometimes sleeping and you're really like, oh, here he comes. He's down, right? Nope, here he comes again. Staying alive is definitely a big part of being a receiver with this offense.
I prefer it to be, how it's drawn up, how it's told in the huddle. But when I have to, I can extend the play. I'm blessed enough to make that athletic play and extend it more.
One of those receivers he throws to is David's older brother, Josh, who has high praise for his so-called little brother.
Sometimes I don't want to admit it, but I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the state because the things he can do and the way he can extend plays, and then at the end of the play throw a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown, and just things like that. I don't see anybody else our age doing those kind of things on that consistent of a basis.
Josh admits it wasn't always easy having a younger brother get so much attention for his athletic exploits.
I'm gonna be honest. In the past, it did sting. It did sting, and then I kind of realized that it's not just like me not being good enough. It's that he is just a once in a while spectacular athlete.
Roddy works closely with Breck offensive coordinator Marcus Harris, a former star at Brooklyn Center and a Bolitnikoff award-winning receiver at the University of Wyoming.
Me and I are very close. We joke around a lot, but in serious times we can be serious. He lets me hear the truth first, and he'll always be the first one to congratulate me on something I did right. He's a great role model.
Most of the stuff he does that amazes me is off the camera at practice. He does these one-hand catches that just would make your head spin. It's amazing. So, yeah, he's definitely an incredible athlete, and I would argue with anyone that possibly best in the state. He's fun to work with.
Roddy's become a very good football player, but it's not a sure thing that it's his best or favorite sport. He's also a pretty unstoppable force on the basketball court.
Right now I have equal love for both sports. During the football season I'll miss basketball, during the basketball season I'll miss football, so it goes hand in hand right now. There's no really superior sport over another one.
David's drawing some interest from college recruiters in both sports. He's had some contact with football programs.
I've had a few interests, a few invites to football games. I just recently visited Minnesota, visiting Wisconsin, and then also visiting North Dakota State.
Breck head coach John Martin says college coaches can see Roddy's gifts on film, but they want to know more about him as a person too, and Martin gives him high marks there.
What impresses me most about him, even then, but now when you talk about growth, is the maturity and the young man that he's becoming. He's humble. He's a great leader, and he's a fierce competitor, and he is able to kind of harness all that into a way where people respect that.
Breck's coaches admit there was some sentiment to move David Roddy to another position because of his size when he first came into the program. Those days are long gone, and the Mustangs leaders have no doubt he can be a great D1 college player if he chooses to.
We've had a few here in my time, the most recent being Ramad, and once you see one or two of those guys, you know what they look like. And when we saw David out on the field, it took about 10 minutes of watching him move around there his freshman year to say we got something special on our hands. And So yeah, I think he's certainly a D1 athlete for sure.
Roddy threw for 1,871 yards and 22 touchdowns this fall, earning All-District and Sports Jam All-Area honors. And he's averaging 34 points per game in Breck's first 8 games in boys basketball this winter. And John, it will be interesting to see which direction Roddy ends up going for college sports.
Really good in both sports and still has one more year of high school left, too. Stay with us. Straight ahead, a look back at a memorable state tournament trip that was a long time coming for the Wayzata boys basketball team. 2017 was a great year for boys basketball in the area, with Wayzata, Champlin Park, and Maple Grove all qualifying for the state tournament. Back in March, we featured a Trojans team that became the first from Wayzata to reach the state tournament in nearly 60 years. Wayzata's regular rotation of 9 players features 2 sophomores, 1 junior, and 6 seniors. Seniors who are a big reason that the Trojans are in the state tournament and who have helped Coach Brian Schnettler's program establish a culture of winning.
I knew it right away when I got here that this group was going to be a hardworking, fun group to be around that was going to probably win a lot of basketball games, and they have done it at every level they've been at. We really have 7 seniors. One of our seniors, Justin Wolf, tore his ACL during football, and it's still been a great leader and captain for us. So it's been an unbelievable group to coach.
The 6, Gavin Baumgartner, Mitchell Faust, Ben Gross, Bryce Hempel, Alex Jensen, and Ryan Lindberg feature 3 starters and 3 reserves, and every one of them plays his role.
We're all pretty talented players, but then there's like a few of us that really focus on the mentality of we're going to get in there, get every board, and I think that equal balance of skill and effort between everybody has really benefited us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody's super important on our team, and you've been able to tell that by our depth when we play other teams. They always can't match up with our bench guys or match up with the starter guys, and just because we're such a great group of close-knit friends and stuff, I don't think it makes a difference to any of us whether we start or play the whole game. We just enjoy being a team so much. So
it's all led to a 26-3 record and a state tournament berth in a loaded 2017 Class 4A field. The Trojans are focused on more wins, while at the same time enjoying what their section final win means for them, their school, and the community as well.
We talk about it every day, just enjoying the little things and just looking back at what we've done. We've just had a great time.
Last season, the Trojans were upset by Cooper in the Section 6 semifinals. It was a loss that helped fuel the drive of this state tournament team.
Coming into the offseason, we knew we had something to prove. We knew we had to go out there. We knew there was a whole new level our team could reach. We already had the chemistry. We already had all the stuff going for us. And now it's just, are we ready to put the work in the offseason? And then every day at practice. That's one of the biggest things Coach Schnettler's got us to believe in is practice. Every day we come to practice focused, and it shows off in our game.
The 3 underclassmen in the rotation, Jacob Benninga, Drew Gallinson, and Luke Paulson, and the rest of the roster are no less important to the Trojan success. But it is the seniors who have led the way.
Gavin is the most competitive kid I've ever coached. He just flat out hates to lose. Practice games. Ryan, I think, is the best shooter in the state, but he's developed into a very good defender and a really good overall scorer. Mitch and Alex they don't get enough credit for what they do. They rebound really well, great defense every night. They've really improved as scorers. Bryce and Ben, great energy, really good athletes, really good at getting to the rim and defending multiple positions.
In March of 1959, the small farming community of Wayzata celebrated a state basketball championship. Win or lose this week, these Trojans know they have already carved out their own place in Wayzata basketball history.
Team on 3. 1, 2, 3, team.
Wayzata finished 3rd in Class 4A behind Apple Valley and Champlin Park and beating Maple Grove in the 3rd place game. 3 of those 2017 seniors are playing college basketball now. Gavin Baumgartner at MSU Moorhead, Ryan Lindberg at St. Thomas, and Bryce Hempel at Mesabi Community College, while Mitch Faust plays club basketball at Wisconsin. Alex Jensen is on the football team at South Dakota, and Ben Gross earned a track and field scholarship at Connecticut.
She had a long and productive career on the softball diamond. Pitchers in the Northwest Suburban Conference always knew when Brittney Davis was coming up in the Champlin Park batting lineup. We met the Rebels senior in May. We're down to the final weeks of a very impressive high school softball career for Champlin Park senior third baseman Brittney Davis.
Being a Rebel to me means family, and that's what this team is. It's just a big family, so it's going to be sad that I'm leaving, but obviously it'll be good that I'm going on to a new chapter.
Davis is hitting .500 with power for the Rebels. Not unexpected, since she's been a standout for 4 varsity years.
We heard about her when she was real young, coming up through the ranks. I think she was probably one of the first kids that was really sought after for some of the club teams and that kind of stuff. And so as an 8th grader, when she came to play for us, she was a tremendous player. And in our district, we can't allow 8th graders to play varsity ball, so she played on our 9th grade team for a year and just had a phenomenal year.
Brittney's played a lot of club ball, facing good competition there and in the Northwest Suburban Conference, which has pushed her to improve.
Yeah, for sure, and like those players, I do know most of them, so obviously that's fun in that aspect, playing against people I know, and yeah, for sure, good playing good competition makes you better, so yeah.
Davis is headed for the University of Toledo to play Division I ball next season with some old friends from Minnesota.
For my traveling team, we were in Florida, and the coach happened to walk up, and she happened to see me play, and she talked to my coach, and then I went down there for an official visit, and instantly when I got on campus, I was like, wow, I could see myself going here, and I also already have teammates down there that play, and it's just a really family feeling, and that's something that I needed to have wherever I was going to go to school.
At Toledo, Davis hopes to start a journey in the medical field. A tough course load for a D1 athlete.
I want to be a OBGYN, which is a gynecologist. I just like health, so. I still have to continue talking to my coach because we have to obviously figure out schedules, but I have a passion for that and I want to do it, so if I want to do it, I'm going to go get it.
Her teammates and coaches aren't surprised that Davis will play college ball at a high level. She's been a big asset to the Rebels program.
For a while, right when we first started at the high school, we were competing for the same position, but now it's just so great knowing that she's at third base. It's a really great security to know that she's there for you, and knowing with me at first base that she's always going to make her plays and always do the stuff she needs to do, and it's just awesome to know she's there.
Just a phenomenal hitter, and has really pushed our kids to be better and really kind of elevated our program, and being the first kid that I know of that's going D1 for softball is pretty special.
To Brittney's left in the field is super talented sophomore shortstop Holly Blaska, who is being recruited by a lot of major colleges. It's been nice to help a younger player.
Oh, for sure, and I'd say it goes both ways. We both help each other, and she obviously has a really bright future in front of her too.
While the Rebels have had some of their better teams in recent years, they've never qualified for the state tournament. Their record isn't outstanding this spring, but with no dominant team in Section 5 4A this season, it's a possibility that Brittney Davis and Champlin Park could still compete for a section title.
Well, as Coach Ridley always says, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So I think anything can happen, especially with what we did with Anoka. If we keep putting in the work and the effort, I think everything will work out how it's supposed to be.
Davis is now a freshman at the University of Toledo. They have their first games in Florida beginning February 9th. And she touched on in the story, she's one of 3 players from the Northwest Suburban Conference on the Toledo roster for softball.
Nice little pipeline from this area down to Ohio, right? Next up on our special year-end sports jam, meet a hard-throwing pitcher from one of the area's smallest schools. Heritage Christian Academy finished second in last year's Section 4A baseball tournament. The Eagles were led by then junior Seth Halvorsen. In this Sports Jam Spotlight, Jason Malillo profiled the University of Missouri signee.
Heritage Christian Academy's Seth Halvorsen thinks he's given up too many walks and too many timely hits this spring, but the junior pitcher isn't one to dwell on the negative.
I don't really think about it too much. It's a team game, and so when a teammate makes a mistake, we all make mistakes. It's just part of the game. I don't think about it too much at all.
The fact is, Halvorsen is one of the top pitchers in the state for the class of 2018. Like a lot of kids, he started out as just a thrower, but has worked hard to become a pitcher. Halvorsen now commands a 4-pitch repertoire, and his style is to go after hitters.
I definitely love to strike guys out. I try not to pitch to let them hit, but it happens, and I try to overpower guys and not let him catch up to the ball a lot.
He's really developed into what's
defined as a power pitcher. He uses all his pitches very well. He's not afraid to throw any pitch in any count. So it's been an interesting development to watch over the last few years.
When he's not on the mound, Halvorsen is a solid hitter and dynamic shortstop for the Eagles. Looking to the future, Halvorsen wanted to be able to be a pitcher and position player in college. To that end, he chose the University of Missouri.
Most Division I colleges are really looking for players to either be pitcher only or play in the field and hit. They don't really want to do both. And Missouri is one of the schools that came on and really wanted him to come on and do both. So that was a big factor in his decision, because he loves to pitch, but obviously he's a great fielder and a heck of a hitter. I definitely had a few more bigger name schools contact me just to pitch, and so a big factor of going to Missouri was because I could two-way, which was definitely a big interest of mine and what I wanted to do.
Halvorsen plays club baseball in the summer for the Minnesota Blizzard, and as soon as the high school season ends, he'll be on the road.
I'm leaving June 18th to middle of July and playing the whole time, playing baseballs, different showcases and tournaments for the Blizzard.
But Halvorsen hopes he might have to push back his departure date a bit so the Eagles can chase a state title.
I think we definitely have a strong chance. If I had to pick a year, I think this is our best year to be able to overcome section championship like that we've lost to the past 4 years. So I think we'll do it this year.
For the year, Halvorsen hit .488 with 22 extra base hits and 28 stolen bases. Seth also plays basketball for the Eagles and is the leading scorer so far this season at 17 points per game. We'll continue with more of our Sports Jam year-end special in a moment. The Hopkins softball team represented Section 6 in the Class 4A state tournament last season. In this Sports Jam Spotlight from June, we met a talented infielder who is a jewel on the Royals diamond. For a player who hit .500 this season and was a first-team All-Metro player, Natalie DenHartog is pretty humble about her personal success.
I think it's gone pretty well. I hope just in each opportunity I've done what I was supposed to do to help my team, and I mean, I always think I can do better, but I'm sure things could be worse also.
It's that team-first attitude and great ability that makes her what Mark Peterson calls a coach's dream.
Natalie is a gifted athlete and is very competitive. Obviously, she can generate a lot of bat speed with those quick hands and a lot of those fast twitch muscles. She's a good base runner, strong defensively, strong arm. You know, we'd call that a five-tool player. You know, so she does well, and she's a competitor.
She's probably one of the best shortstops I've had behind me, and I've played with a lot of different teams, and she's definitely up there. I can count on her a lot of times with her bat and with her plays in the field, so she's a good teammate to have.
Natalie isn't a player to get cheated on her swings at the plate. DenHartog drives it out to right center field. It's off the base of the fence. The former baseball player generates great bat speed, something she worked on with her dad.
I remember when I was young and playing baseball, me and my dad took a break and said, look, we got to figure out a way where I can hit the ball over the outfielders' heads. And so that kind of developed my big leg kick, which is not seen as much in high school. And ever since then, I just try to pound it.
I'd like to take all the credit. That'd be nice, but no, she really works hard. What she has is a really good work ethic. And one thing that's really helped her with hitting for power this year is she got into the weight room really hard through the winter time and got a lot stronger, and I think that transitions to better bat speed and balls going out pretty fast.
While she's a tremendous hitter, DenHartog can also field with the best of them at shortstop. So which does she enjoy most?
Whatever's going well that day, you know, and whatever. I mean, sometimes you don't get any balls at short and you just have to get your opportunities at the plate, and sometimes you get 10 balls at short and go 0 for at the plate, so it's just whatever you can do that day.
John DenHartog is the school's longtime head football coach, and Natalie is the youngest of his children to play sports at Hopkins, following JT in football, 5 years older than Natalie, and softball playing sister Haley, 3 years older.
It's a dream come true, you know. Anytime you get to kind of share moments, you know, both good and bad with your kids there on the sports field, it's just memories that last a lifetime. And My older kids, we still talk about it all the time, and Natalie, we're kind of in the middle of it, and it's a lot of fun. Really enjoy it.
I started out playing catch with JT and Haley when I was young, and then watching JT play baseball, I started out playing baseball, and then Haley started playing fast pitch softball, and I thought I got to try that now, and so I mean they've always been there. They've always been my #1 fans, and me their #1 fans, and so I really don't think I would be here if it wasn't for them. So.
Though only a junior, Natalie is already in her 5th year of varsity softball. 3 years ago, Natalie had the chance to play alongside Haley in the Hopkins outfield. Though Natalie says she's not sure how much Haley enjoyed that, it was a blast for her.
My 8th grade year, I got to play center field while Haley played left field, and that was I think I'll always remember that for the rest of my life, because who gets to play right next to their sister, and I got to have that experience. So,
with the high school season now over, Natalie returns this summer to her club team, Midwest Speed.
I was looking at my schedule yesterday. It looks like I have about 1 free weekend the rest of the summer until about August, but I'm definitely not complaining, and it'll be a lot of fun.
In November, Natalie signed to play softball at the University of Minnesota, but has 1 season left at Hopkins to try to get the Royals a state for a 3rd year in a row. We'll be back to wrap up Sports Jam in a moment.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood? Or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. You can learn about the latest news through our truly local newscast. We cover and air around 150 high school sporting events every year. For our cities, we air parades and city meetings that you can watch whenever you want. Then, any citizen of our cities can create and share their own original content. We'll even teach you how to use the equipment too. We have always provided you with a connected community experience. And as life gets busier than ever, we will continue to engage, inform, and inspire through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
Don't miss the Girls High School Holiday Hockey Classic from December 28th through the 30th at the New Hope Ice Arena. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under Cities and in the Community. Ring in 2018 at the New Year's Eve party at the Maple Grove Community Center on December 31st. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under Cities and in the Community.
Looking for local? Even more local? CCX Media gives you the option to connect with your community on multiple levels. CCX Sports brings you ultimate coverage in local prep sports with full game coverage of over 120 high school games a year with highlights and features on our daily newscast. Then, our weekly Sports Jam show gives you a close-up look at local athletes, highlights of local games, and in-depth interviews. Our content can be watched at home or on the go. Visit ccxmedia.org.
There's no better way to celebrate winter than at the Plymouth Fire and Ice Festival on February 3rd. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under Cities and in the Community.
Our games of the week are 2 girls basketball telecasts from the Park Center tournament. We'll have games Friday featuring Champlin Park against Cretin-Durham Hall. That one is live on the web at ccxmedia.org at 3:45 Friday afternoon. It replays on our TV channels 7, 99, and 12 Saturday at 4 p.m. At 7 o'clock Friday, it's live coverage on TV and the web of Host Park Center against Minnetonka. That game also replays Saturday at 7 p.m. And that will do it for this week's Sports Jam.
Next week, we'll have holiday tournament highlights and recaps, and a busy week for many local prep basketball and hockey teams. Have a happy and safe New Year's, and we'll see you next week, beginning Tuesday, for our first program of 2018.